right, guys, we got Taryn's truck here, Excursion. Pretty mean looking girl. I think it's oil cooler leaking. Oil cooler cover. We do got a little oil on the boot coming through, so we need a new boot. And it blew off on the diag drive just now, so we might want to explore both boots. Just put them both on, call it done. Need to put the EGR valve back in. We'll get rid of that plate because we're taking the intake off and resealing the oil cooler. We got a couple of bare spots. Look down here, right there. You guys see that? How it's been exposed. Anytime I see stuff like that, it's concerning. I mean, it missed a couple of times when we fired it up, but it didn't really seem like too bad. Yeah, we bolted that on. I'm not even gonna show you. It's all crooked. We probably ought to get a new boot down there too. It's got memory of it being on there. So do you guys think it's far-fetched that this clamp is strong enough to squeeze this pipe down to make it so it's more like a cone on the end? I don't know. Which that means that we're just tightening up too tight, which obviously I get it. It seems like every time it sits for more than 6 hours, it goes completely dead. So we got a massive parasitic draw that we got to check on. We're gonna go drive it real quick. Let's just go see where the oil cooler's at before we go taking it out. It'd be absolutely ridiculous to go reseal a bad oil cooler, so let's go find out. I'm not gonna hit it too hard. I don't want that boot to blow off again. We got to get some new boots on it. Let's see how much boots we got. 11 pounds. We want to go all the way until oil drops a degree, so it's not even heat saturated yet. We want the engine basically to make all the heat it's going to be, and we won't know that until the oil drops a degree because, let's just think of it, it's an oil cooler, right? It needs to cool the oil. So once it starts cooling the oil, then we know we're heat saturated. So, I mean, right now it's not looking good. We're 17 degrees. And a healthy oil cooler should never show that much. Let's exit right here. It's gone. 27 degrees, so we're not even going to entertain this oil cooler. It's got to go. The numbers were pretty much mashed up when I started it, so you really want to make sure that your temp sensors are evened out when you cold start it in the morning, just to make sure the numbers read the same, because that'd be a bummer to replace a oil cooler when it's just a sensor. Yeah, let's not do that. Transmission staying nice and cool, 151, but that 218, 192, it's a lot. So we'll get back to the shop and I'll take a look around underneath, see if we can maybe see another little spot. I mean, it's leaking coolant and oil. It also has a rubber hose on it. It's got the J-tube on it. Very possible that the hose is leaking. I think I already looked at it though, but it could be the O-ring up on top on the intake that the J-tube goes into. Could be something on the oil cooler, maybe a gasket kind of took a crap on it or something, who knows. Oil leaks are something that are very, very hard, especially when they've been leaking for a while. It's kind of a pain in the butt to see exactly where they're coming from. Maybe we'll see a smoking gun somewhere, and that's what we're gonna go for. A lot of times you can see an oil leak because it'll be clean. That's a little smoking gun right there, because as the oil is coming out of the engine, it will not allow grease to form where the leak is actually happening at. Look for a spot where the oil leak is that has no grease. Pretty simple. Most of the time you would have found your leak, but that's easy to say. There's like 900 places for oil to leak on this truck, so yeah. A lot of times the T-joint at the back where the rear cover meets the engine block, and then where the pump cover meets, it's a T-joint right there. I mean, you might pull it off and just make sure that's clean and sealed up. Oil leaks are really hard to chase down. They're really hard because things get nasty. So right now, I would say the coolant leak looks like the J-tube that goes up into the intake. We should be putting our intake on it. That'll eliminate all that. Get the intake on, and then we might as well double check STC. Right now, oil cooler's bad. Sucker's so damn expensive. And Ford oil coolers, I haven't had very good luck with them. The gaskets and everything's good, but I said that in an earlier video, and it's holding true. That I've had them rupture years later. Not like a real quick thing, just long enough when you think your truck's good and it's been years, boom, a ring in your degas bottle. From oil cooler. It's just a gamble going to put that sucker in there, and then if it lets go, we're just gonna be freaking sad. We need to unhook and find the parasitic draw too. I don't have enough time to do everything we want to do. Man, what is going on here? We've got lines bent everywhere. These AC, I'm just gonna bend it up. It was still working, so maybe we separated it in enough time that it's not gonna puncture the line. Quick rundown, pull the oil cooler off, reseal the top. Let's just look under here real quick. Yeah, look at that. If there's a drip coming from the transmission or the transmission lines, you're not gonna, if somebody says that's a rear main, I would bet against them. Just because the nature of rear mains leaking on these trucks are low, like pretty low, compared to oil cooler covers and oil cooler adapters and high pressure pump T-joints, and there's a lot more probability of it leaking up there. It's angled back, so anything that leaks oil is gonna come right here. No matter where it originates from, it will come right here. So just because it's wet down here in Thrower, I personally know of a bunch of trucks that had rear mains put in leaking oil just like they did before. Don't fall into that game. And I say that this could be a rear main. It could be one of the few, but I doubt it. I mean, you can pop the inspection cover off and then shine a light up there. You can see it. If it's rear main leaking, it's easy to see. So I'll make sure and do that once we start getting to take it apart. And basically, let's straighten this up. Let's go to town. Does not look very good at all. He's got the, well, most of it. We got to clean that out, but he's gotten all that clean. We also was not updated on the STC fitting. There's the non-updated one. We got orange oil cooler gaskets. This is what I want to look at. It's a dormant oil cooler. Okay. So, dormant oil cooler and RTV on the thermostat. We'll get it all straightened out. We are going to reuse the Y pipe and up pipe because it's not damaged, and let's try to have a little bit of a budget here, you know. So, there you go. Tore it apart. Looks good. Have a good day, guys.